Hi everybody, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Michael. You're watching another episode of Star Wars News and Views. Today's episode is going to be potentially a little spoilerish. This is assuming that it's going to be very spoilerish. Yeah. This is assuming all these things we're talking about are true. They are rumors. We've talked about them before. If you've seen most of our old videos, you've probably heard about this.
Yeah.
But just to give you a word of warning. So, to start, there's been all this debate about Mark Hamill's voiceover in the new Force Awakens teaser, where it's like basically Return of the Jedi dialogue, but there's a new part to it. But
where it says you have this power to talking to another character.
And there was all this debate of like, well, it kind of sounds like the old recording, but it kind of sounds different. What's the story? Mm-hmm. And there was all this debate about whether it's new or old. And during an interview at the Star Wars Celebration, which just happened, it's revealed that it's both, actually. Mark Hamill came in a week earlier, before the trailer was released, and re-recorded that dialogue. Yeah. And actually, they layered it over top of the original dialogue to give it a kind of a reverb, echoey effect.
Yeah.
So that explains that. So it's probably not actually dialogue that happens in the movie. Mm-hmm. It was probably just they scripted it for the trailer.
Yeah, I said it recorded like a week before or something.
Yeah.
So it seems like it might not actually be canon, this conversation, at least. Which kind of, we can go back to another rumor and sort of revisit it now that we have some of this information. There was a concept art that leaked before that we had talked about where there was this masked figure in a hood, which that was definitely a different mask than Kylo Ren's that we've seen in the trailer, and he's holding Darth Vader's mask in his hand.
Which you also see in the trailer. You see Darth Vader's destroyed mask, and someone's looking at it.
Yeah. So from that concept art, we kind of had this idea, and because the mask looks kind of evil and everything, we kind of had sort of this idea that it was Luke and he had gone to the dark side or something, but he was like, hiding his face or something like that, and he seemed kind of like, very Yorkie, but like evil at the same time, holding this mask.
Yeah, well, at first people thought this was the new villain, and then this rumor came out that the identity of the villain is actually Luke Skywalker, and he's kind of gone bad. And there was another rumor about Luke Skywalker kind of going crazy in isolation. Yeah. And so it's like, oh, okay, these tie together seems a bit unlikely, but I mean, Dark Empire happened.
Yeah. So from that, we were kind of speculating, at least recently, if this voiceover isn't canon, and from the trailer we saw this other hooded figure putting his like metal hand out to R2-D2. Obviously, it's the same hand that Luke lost, but they didn't show us his face at all. And like he was hooded, very similar to this concept art that we saw with the masked character. So there's still speculation whether that was Luke again. Now that was him touching R2-D2, but this masked concept art is still
because his hand is different. Like in the Return of the Jedi, he has a pretty. Even you were mentioning our reaction to the trailer. He has a pretty good hand. Like it's a fleshy hand. Yeah. So maybe in isolation it deteriorated. But that it looks very similar to the masked character, who also has a robotic right hand, the same as Luke's.
Yeah. So a speculation that we have now is that maybe he has gone to the dark side, and that's not. It hasn't been rewritten by this trailer. If anything, it's kind of giving a little bit more into that. I mean, we see this thing where he's talking to this other character, presumably Kira Solo or someone's
Rey, technically.
Yeah, Rey.
As of now.
But if that's not canon, maybe he doesn't talk to her. Maybe he's not trying to give her advice, at least at this part of the movie, and he starts off still kind of going to the dark side or something. Like maybe he is still a bit evil at some point in this movie.
Or maybe that's how it ends. The thing is, the way the voiceover is implied, it says like I have it, and they show that figure, so it seems implying that that's Luke.
Yeah.
But then, if he is this masked character, why don't they show his face?
Yeah.
One possibility is because they want to save the reveal of Luke for the main trailer or something. Like they give us Han Solo, that even people went nuts over that, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe they're just saving it for later, and they don't want to blow their load too early, kind of thing.
But he's still wearing. That gives us the speculation wearing this mask, and it seems it would be kind of weird that he is wearing this like metallic mask or whatever. Even if he was good, I mean, there's a chance that it's kind of a part of a disguise or something. I mean, he's supposed to be in isolation, but if he left isolation for some reason, he could be wearing it as part of a disguise. But it still seems kind of like a weird thing to do if you're like a good person. I don't know. Like
well, also the whole thing is that he seems to be like consoling R2-D2 or something, and that's a very Luke thing to do. So I think that is Luke. Mm-hmm. The question is he also the guy with the mask? And now there's kind of a little bit of new fuel to that debate.
Yeah.
So there you go. I don't really know what to believe. So I guess the possibilities you end up with, that's the guy with the mask, and he's not Luke Skywalker that you see in the trailer. But then why is he with R2-D2? And so that doesn't seem right. The second thing is that is Luke, and he's not wearing the mask, and the guy in the mask is a separate character that we see in the concept art.
Yeah.
And then there's the third possibility with, yes, that is Luke in the concept art, and yes, that is Luke in the trailer, but the reason you don't see his face is because he has this mask.
Yeah.
And even in the concept art, you can see that it's not like a robotic face. It's a human wearing a mask. You can see like lips and stuff underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
And it seems like if the concept art was sort of an early artistic thing of Kylo Ren's mask, he doesn't look the same at all. Like
it's
Kylo
a very
Ren
different body build and everything.
Kylo Ren's a lot skinnier and he's like got a full cloak and everything, but it's not like as like haggard and stuff as this one that this other character is wearing and everything.
The impression I get from the mask character is that he's maybe a little bit older. I don't know why that is. It's like he doesn't quite have his athletic body.
Yeah.
So really, like, I guess we don't really know where this is going.
Yeah.
It's who knows. It's just interesting discussion to have, and there's lots of points for and against. So leave us your feedback. Like, I want to see in the comments section people debating this. There's a lot of merits for and against, and I don't know. Like, I mean, I would say my gut instinct that it's out of character that after Return of the Jedi, Luke would go to the dark side. But then there's the whole Dark Empire comic where that happened, and that's one of the best comics in Star Wars history. So it can be done and done well.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see to find out if this is going to be a story aspect they're going to go for him. But I don't know. I think it'd be kind of a cool idea to go back and revisit this Luke being on the dark side or something. We'll see.
And trying to understand what the dark side is, and there you go. Watch the other videos if you want to learn a little bit more about these original rumors, and leave us your feedback, and we'll see you next episode.